Hi, dear learners. This is your teacher, Renette, and welcome to our class where we learn and teach each other. Hello, dear learners. Welcome back. In our last lesson, we explored how sensory details can transform writing into a vivid experience. We learned how to paint vibrant pictures with our words, using verbs to add action and life. In this video, we're going to dig deeper into why we use sensory details. They don't just make writing descriptive, they create images and imagery. Let's discover how these concepts build on what we've already learned. Let's start with some quick definitions. An image is a single, vivid description of something experienced through the senses. It's like a snapshot or a moment frozen in time. Imagery, on the other hand, is the bigger picture. It's when multiple sensory details and images come together to create an overall impression or mood. Think of it this way. Sensory details are the tools in your toolbox. An image is one tool at work, like a brush stroke on a canvas. Imagery is the whole painting that those brush strokes create. Remember how we used sensory details to describe the five senses? Let's revisit those examples and see how they work as images. Sight. Sensory detail. The garden exploded with vibrant colors. You can see the fiery red roses, sunny yellow daisies, and lush green grass. Sound. The forest buzzed with life. You hear birds singing, leaves rustling, and animals moving. Smell. The kitchen was filled with the warm, inviting aroma of cinnamon rolls, their sugary glaze mingling with the rich scent of freshly brewed coffee. The image. The air is filled with the rich, sweet scent of chocolate. Taste. What is the image here? The chocolate is smooth and sweet with a hint of bitterness. The touch. What is the image? The image is the soft, warm blanket feels like a cozy hug. Now let's step back and look at imagery. It's not just one image. It's a collection of sensory details working together to create an emotional and sensory experience. Let me show this example. This combines sight, touch, and sound to create a peaceful, vivid moment. That's imagery in action. Imagery is often categorized by the sense it appeals to. Let's break it down. Visual imagery. It appeals to sight. Example, the crimson sky burned with the last light of the setting sun. Second, auditory imagery. It appeals to hearing. Example, the thunder roared like a lion, shaking the walls of the house. 3. Olfactory imagery. It appeals to smell. Example, the scent of rain-soaked earth mingled with the sweetness of blooming jasmine. 4th, tactile imagery. It appeals to touch. Example, the cold, damp stone pressed against her fingertips, sending a shiver up her spine. 5th, gustatory imagery. It appeals to taste. Example, the tangy sweetness of the orange lingered on her tongue, refreshing and sharp. Can you see how sensory details are the foundation of imagery? Let's connect this back to our previous lesson. You already know how to use sensory details. Now here's the next step. When you write, think about the bigger picture. What mood or emotion do you want to create? Just choose sensory details that match. Here are some well-known excerpts that use vivid sensory details to create specific moods or emotions. The first mood, we have joyful and bright mood. Try to look at the example and read the example written by William Wordsworth. Wordsworth uses visual imagery like golden daffodils and twinkle on the Milky Way, creating a bright and lively mood. The verbs fluttering and dancing give the scene movement and joy. Second, dark and somber mood. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. This is a very famous poem. What is the analysis here? Poe's use of auditory imagery such as the silken, sad, uncertain rustling creates a suspenseful atmosphere. The slow, deliberate pacing of the lines adds to the sense of dread. The third mood, peaceful and serene mood. Look at the example written by Robert Frost. Here, Frost's visual imagery of lovely, dark, and deep woods evokes a calm, reflective mood. The repetitive rhythm mirrors the quiet serenity of the snowy woods. The fourth mood, nostalgic and sentimental mood. You try to look at the example written by John Keats. Keats uses visual and olfactory imagery with phrases like mists and mellow fruitfulness and ripeness to the core. This evokes a sense of warmth, abundance, and nostalgia for the passing season. The fifth example, harsh and gritty mood. Try to look at the example written by Wilfred. Owen here uses tactile and auditory imagery with words like yelling, stumbling, and floundering. The harsh, chaotic descriptions capture the horrors of war, creating a vivid, gritty mood. Now, I'll give you a challenge. Here's an example for you to analyze. Can you spot the different imagery? You may write your answers in the comment section below. How was your analysis? Did you get the correct answers? When crafting your descriptions, remember these examples. Use sensory details to evoke specific images. Choose verbs and adjectives that match the mood you want to convey. And experiment with different types of imagery to enhance the emotional depth of your writing. Imagery transforms writing. By using sensory details to create vivid images, you can make your readers feel, see, and experience your words. Remember, sensory details are your building blocks. Images are the moments you create, and imagery is the masterpiece your writing becomes. That's the end of our lesson. See you in the next class. Happy learning!